Right, Nick, we're getting the show
Sorry.
around. Yes, we're
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Midlife Renaissance podcast. Woo!
Yo, yo, yo!
No,
Yo, yo, yo is awesome. People love it.
are people actually seeing? They're not just seeing the top of our heads now because it feels like it's too high up.
No, it's angled at a right angle.
Can I ask, what do people think of this new look of Austin? It's a bit,
It's right a bit yellow.
It's like, I don't know. It's just.
Here's the thing, right? I wear yellow like this, and it triggers some people, and some people's like, yeah, it's nice, it's really cool, like. So here's the thing: why does it trigger some people and not other people? Like, what does it? What? Like, say for example, Nick's like triggered. Like, what's it make you feel like?
It's just weird.
Why is it weird?
It's just it's weird.
But see what I mean? Like, I can't answer. It just says it's weird because I'm wearing yellow. Like, what's wrong with wearing yellow?
I don't know. It just looks a bit like. I don't know. It just stands out a bit.
So it stands out. So it's like, but this is it stands out. Stands out from what? Like my usual kind of grey and black or something.
Yes, exactly.
So so it makes me look more confident, more outgoing, more like king energy. Like,
I don't know. Weird.
Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in and listening. It's a 1 year anniversary.
Well, we were gonna do something, but just we're trying to still work on it. So.
Oh, this is it.
No, it can't
This
be.
is it, Nick. This is me and you. This is
But
1 year
I
out.
know,
Not two last man standing.
Well, no, it's just everyone bailed on us. It's just.
They're missing out. We're gonna have going for a champagne reception later on.
Austin's paid. He said he was gonna buy it.
No, do you know what was nice? You know what was nice because I said to Nick, like, let's go for a bottle of champagne after the show, and Nick's like, you're paying, Austin. I was like, well, okay. In my own head, like, coming over here, I said I'll pay for 2 glasses, like, and then Nick goes, no, I'll pay you, Austin. You pay for yours, and I'll pay for mine.
I never said that. That's a lie. That's not the truth.
That isn't true. You
No,
didn't say that.
yeah, you can't jump on
He genuinely said that, so it's true. So I was like, it's teamwork. But we have a good bit. We have stuff to get through, which is all Nick's kind of.
He leaves it all to me. That's the problem. He leaves it all to me. No. Yeah. But his stuff is.
I'm just coming from teamwork, and you're saying you leave it all to you. Like, how can you not agree with teamwork?
His stuff isn't.
So he's giving out all my content.
Yes.
Well, okay. Here's the test. This is your content. We want to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia.
Well, of course.
Because we're talking about our generation of like Harry Potter stuff, right? So it's like the mythology or the rites of passage and the kind of initiation into like the beating the baddie, being the hero's journey. Being scared and kind of looking at something and pushing through and kind of being brave and getting to the other side. Like, so we're talking because the Chronicles of Narnia was around when Nick was
when I was growing up, like when I think they started, like, obviously it's been in different forms. It's been on TV, animation, it's been in the cinema, and then around in 1988 they started doing the BBC adaptation of it.
Yeah, because 1988. Well, you were like what, 8, 9?
7.
Yeah.
They used to do it around Christmas time, so it was kind of the lead up to Christmas. So it's kind of like the middle of November, and there was always 6 episodes of it. So they did about three different series of. So the first one, obviously, they had to do was the most popular one was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
I don't know if I've even seen it though, because Nick was telling me all about it. I've never seen it before, and I was like,
how could you not see it?
I just wasn't.
But people have read the book.
Yeah, I haven't read the book. As I said, like your family, like you're kind of like you're a different family than me.
No, but
I play football. I watch football. Different things. I was into sports. No, okay, right. The point is, a lot of people watched it, and you watched it. So tell the folks about it. I think there's 7 books. It was written by C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis.
So.
And it's actually 75 years since it was the first. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was the first one that was written. Not necessarily it was the first one, but it's in the chronological order. There's another book. So that was the first book, and that's the main. Everyone knows The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. That came in 1950. And actually, he wrote a book every year, which is weird because the authors don't tend to write them every year. They usually write them every 2 years or something like that.
It was very productive then.
Yeah, it was. And parents, they were about 175 pages long. which is and actually had good illustrations in it as well. So
was he sorry to cut you, was he a professor in literature or something, or was he?
I think so.
He was a teacher or something, was he, or something?
I mean, I think he was in the professor. Yeah. So and there's a movie Shadowlands with Anthony Hopkins. He plays him in the movie Shadowlands, which came out in '93. But he was big into Christianity as well. So all of his books are kind of.
But that's just all symbolism and stuff, like symbology, like. But it's all based on the Christian and the Christianity, the Christian beliefs, and the Bibles and stuff. It's all taken from that kind of.
Well, yeah, but I think most people would. I think obviously the line of Mature, as we could see, is probably the one that most people recognise.
Well, I knew the name of the wardrobe. Yeah. Aslan's the character, the witch.
Yeah, the witch. Yeah, obviously, the line is Aslan, the witch is the one. That's right. And so they made the BBC. That was a 6-part. Sorry, 6-part series. Actually, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So they did make some. I mean, some of the characters were a bit scary, but they made the White Witch a bit scary. Like
she represents evil, though.
Yeah. Sorry. So obviously the story is the 4 kids who are left by the parents to escape the war. They move to the country. Lucy finds the entrance when she goes looking. Searching through the house.
They were on an adventure. They were looking for something to do. They were bored. They were seeking something bigger than themselves.
Yeah. No. They were just exploring the house, and she looks in the water just to see. And she sees the fur coats. Then she realizes that she's standing on snow, and then she meets the fawn, and then
the adventure begins.
But then she goes.
It's the initiation. What do you call it? They call the action or something like that. Like it's in the hero's journey. Like it's like Joseph Campbell talks about it. It's like the initiation or something like that. It's like you step into a foreign land, or you step into something like you're actually on the adventure now. Like
no. But anyway, so this is actually where the adventure begins, because basically she has tea with the fawn, and then the fawn tells her that he's been told to capture her because she's part of a plan to get rid of all there's a prophecy that all the 4 kids will come and rule Narnia for good, but the White Witch who's against it wants to get rid of all of them. So she gets her spies, and Mr. Thomas is one of the he kind of changes his mind and he lets her go, but then he's okay for a while, but then if finally, because of Edmund, he actually gets captured because Edmund accidentally says that when he meets the White Witch, he doesn't actually realize he's met the White Witch.
Yeah, she tricks him.
He tricks him into telling, so he gets captured, and this is where they go off. They meet the beavers, the beavers, and the beavers tell him about Aslan, who's come back into Narnia. He's been away as well, so and he comes back, and at the moment it's winter because the White Witch has made it always winter. And there's only obviously Aslan is the one who can break the spell, but they're going to have to find him. And they eventually find him, and then the witch's magic kind of does end, and she actually makes it that it's always winter but never Christmas. But then the Father Christmas comes into it, and then they know that Aslan is back, and then
the happiness, the joy, the hope.
The thing that was a bit, as I was saying to you, Austin, was the scene where they get the kids who's never been in battle. They're escaping one battle to go into another battle.
But this is the hero's journey. It's like crossing the threshold, I think is what it's called. But it's like the hero's journey. And as you were saying, like like the kid, like he fights a big fox or dog or wolf or whatever.
Wolf.
And he gets the sword and the shield, and he kills the wolf. Like, and it's like, okay. Some other kids would die. Some kids would die from that. Like the wolf would kill the kid. Like, but it's like, that's where the story is an ideal story. Like it's the kind of it's the best possible.
But I wonder, is it the magic that Aslan is giving them? He's able to give him the confidence to fight. You know.
Maybe but isn't this an interesting thing to say? Like if you want to be smart, you want to be educated. Like the expectation from your parents or your school or your teachers. Like say for example. If you come from a family of successful athletes, then if you the habit training from the father and the brothers and the uncles are all make the kids want to be. The expectation is for the other kids to be strong and have athletes as well.
We're getting a point there.
Yeah, no, but the point is the expectation, the expectation to maybe Aslan is a kind of is a one that gives them as you say confidence and expectation. Yeah. But I mean. Yeah, maybe I don't know. So and then they finally were able to rescue Edmund, but then the White Witch has to, she's laid claim to Edmund, so she makes a deal with Aslan, so Aslan sacrifices his life, so he can save Edmund, so then Aslan sacrifice, but unknown to the witch, Aslan knows that he's got more magic than she does, so he knows more from the dog, because obviously he created Narnia. So that's not obvious though. It's not obvious to
if it's not, it's that.
So that Aslan was he's supposed to be the Christ figure, the God figure, he's the mentor, the teacher in the whole story of the Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe. Yeah. He's the guide, the God. He's like the mentor. Yeah. So that was I had to Google that research.
Well, you said you went onto ChatGPT, which is not a great source for that kind of thing, because
excellent source.
It's not.
For that kind of for getting information about Chronicles of Narnia. I mean, well, it's in terms of the information I got, and I read about it. It's as relevant as the information you're watching on YouTube. You're showing me videos on YouTube about the Chronicles of Narnia, and then going from your memory and stuff like that. So you're going from a memory since the last time you watched it, and then you're also reading about it. So.
And I tried to. Remember? Did I tell you the story about wanting to get it at Christmas time? But I got a letter saying from Santa at the time, when I believed it, said to look at the post. I can't believe that, seriously.
What to look at the post for?
The Lion Witch Wardrobe, they did the video of it, the VHS version of the Lion Witch Wardrobe that year, 1989 or 1988 when it came out.
Did you get it in the post?
No, I didn't get it at Christmas. I had to buy it eventually or something.
When did you buy it? So you say when you were 7, Santa sent you a note
No, it said look at the post or something like that, and all I got was a catalogue.
A catalogue of what?
Catalogue of all videos,
But that was actually clever, because maybe Santa Claus was well, you're going to have to earn your VHS tape, you had to save up for it or something.
And it came in 2 tapes. It came in 2 tapes as well. So obviously each episode is 30 minutes, so they had to, because it's pretty much the shortest book, but they must have used a lot of content in it, probably because it's the most famous book.
Yeah, picture paint. Picture of 8,000 words or something.
Yeah.
It was
they actually kind of made, and then they made kind of 4 sequels and kind of 2 prequels in that as well. But in terms of book wise, because The Magician's Nephew is the prequel. It's because I think someone asked him, C.S. Lewis, what was there with the fur coats? Where did the wardrobe come from? And so that's why that's where the idea for The Magician's Nephew, which was actually his second last book he wrote. That was The Last Battle was the last one he wrote. Magician's Nephew was the first one, or the second. So he hadn't thought about that, before.
Well, the more you tell me about it, he wrote this in
50 was the Lion Witch Order. Prince Caspian was the next one in 51.
But it's so foundational, in terms of about symbolism and movies and kind of stories, in terms of framework, it's a metaphorical, that's the height of, when you say, when you're kind of your most creative, is you talk in metaphors, or because you understand, so you can compact, really deep ideas and kind of complex ideas into metaphors. Like if you take C.S. Lewis, he knew so much, like, and put it and translate it into the books.
And they did loads of different translations. They did it on radio, they did it on TV, they did it on film. Like they've done. I mean, it's been translated different. But the Land of Mr. Wardrobe has just been the one that's been translated the most into radio and stuff.
But it's like so. But I mean, this is the character. This is what So he was like he was a professor. Like, so it was like his like actual art. He like create a whole narrative, a whole kind of world. It's like it's excellent. Like, I mean, it's amazing. Like.
And then he kind of wrote the Prince Caspian, which is kind of kind of a sequel where the four kids from the Land of Witch they came back. They were called back because Prince Caspian had called them back because he needed help. He actually used Susan Thorne. Susan got a horn from Father Christmas, and whenever you blown it, help would come. Someone would be able to, and she lost it. Remember that scene I was showing you where they were they were following the stag, they were on the horse at the end. She lost it on that day, and that's but someone found it, so he has that horn now. So the story basically, so he's able to call them back. They and they go back to Care Parabel, where this time it's actually Narnia time. It's about 1,000 years later, so everything's in ruin. The palace that they used to live in is all in ruins, and they're wondering why the palace is all in ruins. And then they remember that 1 year in Earth time is like 1,000 years in Narnia time, and it's a kind of it's a newer Narnia. It's a kind of ruthless kind of Narnia.
The body took over. The devil figure or whatever.
Well, no, it's not really devil, but it's more humanizing. Whereas
but that's what it's supposed to like.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be the good.
So basically, they're helping Prince Caspian to fight his uncle, and they win the battle.
Like this is the Hamlet style.
Yeah, well, kind of the theme kind of similar to Hamlet. And so they win, and even the BBC version of that only lasted 2 episodes, whereas the Land of Witch was 6 episodes. So they shortened the content of that one to about 60 minutes, and that was kind of, they did that with the next book, which was The Voyage of Dawn Treader. But in this book, Peter and Susan aren't in it because in Narnian terms they're too old to.
The last of innocence.
Yeah, exactly. Their
imagination.
Yeah, their imagination is. Sorry.
Go on, say.
No, their imagination. I think, as it says, they can't go back because they're too old. Because I think their lack of imagination has gotten,
But is this even the Garden of Eden and stuff like that? Like they're kicked out of paradise and stuff like that. So not kicked out, but they can't go back in.
They can't go back. So the Voyage of Dawn Treader, that lasted 4 episodes, and it's been weird because they say it's a year in the book, but I don't think so, because in the terms of the series it's only a few weeks, and in Narnian terms it's only a couple of years. So Prince Caspian is a lot older. He's in his adult, and he's been sent on he goes on a quest to find his father's missing friend. There's 7 of them, 7 missing lords that they find, and so they're seeing. Sorry, a bit of a cough today. I'm sorry.
You should have. Where's your water? Drink your water.
No, here. Sorry. So they go on a quest, they're joined by Edmund and Lucy are joined by their spoiled cousin Eustace, who's he's a bit dramatic.
Like you.
Yeah, I was just
not like you. Yeah.
And he doesn't know what's going on at the moment. He thinks he's been kidnapped, or what I mean, he's having delusions.
Huh?
I
like you.
But he becomes good as well. I mean, Edmund kind of he couldn't understand sometimes, because Edmund wasn't great, in the first, and that actually those 3 were actually made into movies as well. So the Disney made the first 2 movies, Prince Caspian and The Lion and the Witch, and then Fox took it over. Well, Fox is now Disney now as well. So took over the Voyage of Dawn Treader, which was the 3rd book to be made into a movie. Sorry.
I said the Lord of the voice.
No, sorry. And then the last adaptation the BBC did was The Silver Chair, which was was good. Yeah, they obviously the Eustace from the Voice of Dawn trailer was joined by another school friend of hers, Jill Pole, and as before, Aslan has told Lucy and Edmund that they're too old to be in to come back to Narnia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the Silver Chair, so the Silver Chair, Jill and Eustace are sent on a quest to find the missing prince. There's a prince that's been missing because he went on a quest to find his mother's killer. His mother, who was Caspian's wife, she died from a serpent sting in the beginning of the Silver Chair, and so they're sent on a quest to find Rillian, who hasn't.
Right, let's before we tell the whole story of everything. I mean, like tell everyone what happened in every moment in every book.
Yeah.
So how do we break it down? How do we summarize it? Like, so what's it all? You know, so it's like C.S. Lewis wrote the book, and he wrote 7 books.
Yeah.
And you wrote them, what, 7 years? Or?
Well, yeah, from about 1950 to 1956, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a 75th year anniversary.
It's 75 years since he wrote the first one, The Land of Missouri.
Oh, okay.
The most famous one.
Mm.
Which is on it was like the top 10, the BBC's big read of the top 100.
So where can you watch these? Is like where can you watch them on YouTube or on Disney?
The TV series again on YouTube, yeah.
YouTube.
Just show you The Land of Missouri.
Yeah, I'm saying for the audience.
Yeah,
it's not about me. Like, we're trying to have an entertainment show. We tell the audience, like,
yeah,
I know. There's no language there.
No, but you're too loud.
But you're looking at you're like saying to you fucking think I told you on YouTube, like, tell the audience, like. Right, so like, right, you tell a great story. So what I'm saying is like, what's it all mean to you? How do we bring this into the midlife renaissance? What's it represent for you?
But I mean, no, it's a book. It's a book to be read when we should have read. Well, you didn't read.
I should have. But here's what's interesting. Sticking out for me. Santa's told you have to you VHS to be in the post. So that's the one thing is like. So you.
Santa the only thing that sticks out in you.
So what's Nick? What does Nick need now? Now that Nick can get 43-year-old Nick can give himself, you know, Chronicles of Narnia or whatever. What's the kind of what's the gift that you're trying to give yourself like here?
Well, I wanted to make more. I don't want to make the same thing over and over. I want to see The Magician's Nephew, The Last Battle, into a movie or a TV series.
Okay. So you want to see you want to see Hollywood, big box office kind of Chronicles of Narnia.
Apparently Netflix are trying to make the movies with Greta Gerwig.
There you go, it's kind of cool, wouldn't it?
But they've been saying that for the last 6 years.
But apparently you're telling me like the last, it's like the Light of Witch and Wardrobe was cool, but like the last episode is
The Last Battle is apparently is kind of vicious. It's like Harry Potter.
The Harry Potter, yes.
Yeah, the Harry Potter, the Deadly Hallows kind of thing, but.
There you go. So right, that's what you want to do. So you want to see the Chronicles of Narnia not reinvented, but just represented in a kind of a big.
And not make the same same books over and over again.
Well, it has to just stay true to the story, don't they? Like, you can't just make C.S. Lewis wrote it, like, so you can't just like change it now. But at least you can put it like in a kind of big box office, like CGI screen or whatever, big fanfare, like.
Well, if Netflix are making it, it won't be on. Well, I think they actually want to. There is a window where they want to be in the cinema for a while.
No, why not? Like in the cinema, and then cinema for a couple of weeks, and then go to Netflix. Like that's the kind of fair deal.
Actually, in the original line, which was, or I mean, in the movie version, Brian Cox, who was in Succession, and he was supposed to be.
Didn't know. I couldn't think of what he was. I knew he was in Succession, but I couldn't think of what his name was. I don't think
he was supposed to be the voice of Aslan, but they thought, I think it was him. It was supposed to be, but they didn't think his voice was suited for it. And they get Liam Neeson was a bit.
Liam Neeson was a voice.
Voice of Madison, yeah.
Cool.
Tilda Swinton was the White Witch.
Was she?
Yeah, she was the White Witch. Yeah. Do you ever watch?
Nick, I told you before, I don't have to watch all the same stuff you watch.
You don't.
I don't have to. I'm totally different. I'm totally different. You have your stuff, I have my stuff. Simple as.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make me watch all the stuff.
Stop making me watch ChatGPT.
I don't make you watch that stuff.
He wanted to do a whole episode of Chat.
I didn't want to do a whole episode. I just want to talk about it because it's interesting. It's moving along in kind of cool ways. Like.
Well, tell me how long. Well, tell me how long.
How long are we going on now for this episode?
I don't know.
Right, okay, well, there's interesting things about ChatGPT. It seems to be like some people are using it as a life kind of coach, like kind of using it for interesting things like asking, day-to-day questions, like say, for example, if they come up against something you don't know, like, I came up with something I was Googling the other day was like, can't think of it now, but it's like interesting, like just questions, like general knowledge questions, like just ask ChatGPT, like, how do you fix a computer or whatever it is, or how do you do podcasts, or kind of how do you do how do you tie a lace? It's like it's simple things like that people are asking on a regular basis, and it's asking life questions like in terms of like what should I do if I'm kind of having difficulty with my family or my brother or my sister or whatever. So it's asked to kind of.
And it probably said, are you a human being? Look, deal with it yourself.
But the thing, ChatGPT is not. It's only taking human knowledge. It's only taking human information from the internet or from stuff that's accumulated and kind of, frame it in a way that's really presentable. Like it's, for example, I asked it today. Like I was a bit, I was kind of chatting with the group, and I was angsty and I was a bit fiery.
Oh yeah. Maybe I don't know if they want to hear it.
No, but it's not. But I was a bit fiery, so I was a bit bored, and I was playing, and I was being playful.
Yeah, of course you were.
Yeah, I was bored and I was being playful, and I was asking the kind of ChatGPT. So what do I do in this situation? Like, so if work is too busy, so how do I just take a break? Like, so I'd be like, so the ChatGPT would say like, just go for a walk, walking like down the road, or just I have certain kind of reset protocols I put in ChatGPT through the memory, like, and it's like say for example, just play football, kick the ball around, hurt yourself, like so play the soccer ball, hurt yourself, or if you want to get watery, then it goes into breathing, like it goes into kind of breathing, so stuff like that. And then it kind of gives me reset protocols, so it's very useful too. Like, so genuinely, just as a useful tool. I should get money for this. Like, I should get like money from ChatGPT, like for like promoting it. Like, but my point is, like, I just find it's a very useful tool.
Are you really pointing promoting it?
Maybe I'm not. But I mean, I like it as a tool. Like, but this is, you follow like. Is artificial intelligence a bad thing? Like, is it gonna keep people?
Have you seen the Terminator? Have you seen that robot?
But this is the thing. Why do I always think like robot? But this is the human nature.
But this is the thing. This is always the thing. What is the thing? If you ever actually explain what the
thing
is?
I was revert back to like Terminator. So AI is gonna kill us. Like, it's because maybe just we're humans. We're like maybe this is what our nature like is tend to like be like loving and hating, and just like is our kind of we fight and just
Well, you start fights, don't you?
Yeah, but I play for fights. It's like rocket, like playful. I like to be playful. I like banter. Like sure, like it's like football, like sports. Like see, Nick never played sports before. I say he's built like a rugby player, but he never played rugby.
I did play sports. Please stop.
No, you didn't. You never told me you played sports. I said you played. You look like you should be playing rugby, but you never played.
I did play the odd time. I didn't really play much.
The point is, like, anyone out there knows you play sports. You have brothers and sisters. You battle each other, kick the shit out of each other.
No,
but you wrestle, and it's a playful kind of thing. It's like it's almost like kind of you have to get the energy out, like So I have boisterous energy. Like I've banter. What would you say? Like I've kind of like competitive energy. Competitive energy. I need to get out. So
you have a strong personality.
I take that as a compliment.
A very strong personality.
Alright. So, look, the Chronicles of Narnia, watch them, folks. What do you think, Nick? I think, from what you were telling me today, like...
YouTube, the Chronicles of Narnia, BBC version, there's four of them. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, The Voice of Dawn Treader, and The Silver Treader. And obviously, the movies, which will be on Disney Plus,
And Nick says, Hollywood, get the finger out and make
the other ones. I mean, the Magician's Nephew, please. Come on, we want to see that done live.
Woo-hoo. Adios, amigos.
Bye-bye.
Love yous and leave yous.